if you are an Igbo person, and because you are a Christian or a religious person, you are still scared of heaven or hell, then you are not a serious person. You don't know your roots. Because if you know your roots, you would know that before the missionaries came, before the colonizers came, the Igbos already had a deep spiritual system. When I was writing my projects in school, I was fortunate and privileged to pick this topic. And the topic is relevance of traditional Igbo morality to the quest for a good society. So today we are going to be talking about the Igbo concept of God. Now, the Igbos believe in Chukwu or Chineke, meaning the source from which everything comes from. They see God as the source from which everything flows. Now, Chukwu is known through creations, not in a physical form. You can see Chukwu in rain, fertility, harvest, birth, and destiny. So the Igbos believe that Chukwu is the creator of the universe. He created the earth, he created the sky, he created humans and all spirits. So the Igbos did not need statues or temples to worship Chukwu. They saw the divine in nature and in moral balance. But Chukwu was seen as too great and too big to deal with everyday human problems. So people began to pray to Chukwu through smaller gods, which they called Alusi. Some examples of these deities or Alusi include Amadioha, which is regarded as the god of thunder, justice, and truth. Then we have Ani or Allah, which is the earth goddess, who is in charge of keeping moral order. Then we have Idemili, which is the goddess of water and wealth. And finally, we have Ekwensu, which is the spirit of negotiation and war. But this particular spirit was demonized and called devil by missionaries. Think of Chukwu as the sun, which is the source of light. And then think of these Alusi or deities as sun rays, which is how the sun reaches the earth. So you see now that these Alusi are how Chukwu interacts with the world. These Alusi are not rivals to Chukwu. They don't compete. As a matter of fact, they are just an aspect of the whole. They are an aspect of the one. When missionaries came, they did not understand the philosophy. So they went with the idea that the Igbos had so many gods, and as a matter of fact, that the Igbos were pagans. But no, the Igbos did not worship many gods. The Igbos did not believe in many gods as they thought. The Igbos simply believed in one divine source that shows up in different forms. Now, in the Igbo system, each person is believed to have what is called a divine spark within them, which is also called Chi. Think of it as Hinduism when they said a person's divine spark is called Atman. But in our Igbo system, it is called a Chi. It is like your divine share from Chukwu. So when Igbo people say Onyekwe, Chiekwe, meaning that when a person agrees, their Chi also agrees. It means that your destiny works in accordance to your will. Okay? And that faith is not passive. Faith is interactive. Now, the Igbo belief system is centered on what is called Omenala, which is customs and moral laws. And at the center of this moral system is Allah, which is the goddess of the earth, the one in charge of moral order. When you offend Allah, the earth goddess, it means that you have done something they call Uso Allah, which means abomination. Things like incest, a father sleeping with a child, or a mother sleeping with a child, a brother sleeping with his sister, or a brother sleeping with a brother, or even a sister sleeping with a sister. Incest is incest. You have done something like stealing or killing. All of these things are abomination against Allah. And when a person does any of these atrocities, the community, not just the individual, the community will have to come together to cleanse the land. And they are not cleansing it because they are scared of hellfire. They are cleansing it to restore harmony. Now, the Igbo spiritual system does not believe in heaven or hell. What they believe in is continuity. They believe that life continues after death, just in another form. If you lived well by respecting others, by raising good children, and by following Omenala, which is the laws of the land, then the Igbos believe that when you die, your spirit goes to join the ancestors, also known as Ndi Ichie, to protect your family. But if you lived badly or you died shamefully, your spirit will fail to join the ancestors, and your spirit will be restless and it will wander about, not because of hellfire, but because you broke the balance of life. The Igbo spiritual system also believes in reincarnation. They believe that sometimes a wandering spirit or a restless spirit could try to reincarnate through a child in the family if it needed a second chance or it wanted to right its wrong. And this is why there are some children that when they are being born, the elders will say, Olowagachiri, meaning that this person has come back again. It is like how Yoruba say, Babatunde or Iyabo. Now, from all I have said, what did you notice about the Igbo spiritual system? If you listen attentively, you would realize that the Igbo spiritual system gave credence to both the masculine and the feminine energies. That is why you talk about Allah being the earth goddess and Amadioha being the god of truth and justice. In Igbo spiritual system, it did not just say that, oh, only masculine energy has the power. Just like how Christianity will tell us that Jesus Christ is the savior of the world. That is the masculine energy. Also, in Igbo spiritual system, while it acknowledges Chukwu as the creator of the universe, it also did not neglect other smaller deities and their powers. Unlike Christianity that tells us that God is the creator of the universe and we have principalities and powers. But the difference between Igbo spiritual system is that we do not bind and cast our principalities and powers. We acknowledge them. But in Christianity, we bind and we cast. We see them as enemies, when instead we should be seeing them as gods or deities that work for our good, not against us. But then, if you are going to say that it is a lie, only Jesus Christ is the Son of God and blah, 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 then I have a question for you. We say that religion was invented as a result of man wanting to make meaning out of the world he found himself. So let's say maybe we don't know. You don't bring your own. Me, I have brought my own. How dare you come to tell me that my own is the demon and your own is the good? How is that possible? So you see that something is not right here. Me and you don't know something, but you think that your own is superior to my own. It doesn't make sense. The best thing for us to do is to coexist peacefully. You do you and let other people do their own. No need to demonize other people's beliefs simply because you don't subscribe to it. That is the key to living, because at the end of the day, all of us just have a little truth to what the thing really is. If all of us cannot be right 100%, all of us cannot also be wrong 100%.